Welcome to the Car Sim and Race Driver Show, presented by Hugh Hatrick. Here at Bathurst in the Porsche, my very special guest, Basic Ollie, Rascal, Rabbit, Josh Martin. It's great to have you back on the show. Drive fast and try not to crash. Welcome to Fat Man in a Cheap Sim, and today we are racing in the Group 3 cars from Alsace, which was the daily race B, and it was a fantastic combination. We hadn't been in Alsace for ages and ages, and when I saw the chance to do Group 3 I thought, it's not one of my strong points, but I'll give it the best I can. So we did quite a few races, and I think this is one of the most exciting ones of the lot, and also the one with a reasonable result. So it's Beetle Mania. Most people were using the Beetles, although to be fair, in some lobbies there was quite a range of cars. The Toyota was pretty good, I was trying to see some people used the Mercedes AMG as well. But in this race we started off 4th, and we headed on to see how we'd get on. Now every corner here at Alsace is quite a challenge because a lot of them are off camber, so you've really got to watch the exits, otherwise you can easily skid off or run out wide or just get it all wrong completely. And if you go off here, it can really ruin the race, and you can pretty much go from the front of the grid right the way back to the finish. So we are in 4th place. We have closed up. We've got Tezzy Bahamas in front. Can we do anything here? Now it's getting pretty close. There's a bit of touching here with the cars in front, and we're just trying to line them up and see if we can get through on the inside. This was a really hard corner, but very satisfying when you get a good run out of it. Coming around a long right-hander, there was a lot of time to be gained or lost here. A tiny wee tap, he did kind of come over a little bit, but I think it was just a wee racing incident, but I managed to get into 3rd, and the Bahama driver went way back down the field to 6th place. And the real thing was now, as I was up into 3rd, could I pull away, and could I even try and get into 2nd? It was going to be an intense race here on in. As we go up the hill, you have to really watch that corner, because if you get it wrong, you run out wide and hit the barriers. And then coming into this very, very tricky kind of downhill chicane where the car understeers so easily, you're going to try and get that right curb, and then that was a wee bit better, and then try and run the car out without hitting the barriers on the right hand side. So that was just the end of the first lap, so we've moved up a place. Can we get a bit more? Now I think we had the Swedish driver, was it, or the Dutch driver in front of us. I'm not entirely sure, but can we make some time in front? And then of course there was the Spanish driver in the lead, and they were getting some really good times. So to be fair, my time was not brilliant. I think I did a 52.8, I think thereabouts is the best that I could do. I did eventually start to bring it down a bit, but I was struggling. I think it projected I could do, I think, a 152.4 or something like that, I think was the best time. But the times overall in the world, they were like a 150.6, so I was a good bit away, to be fair. As I say, Group 3 was not my strongest point, but we kept going. At the moment, the guy in 2nd place is just pulling away a little bit, so we're kind of edging him there, but the main thing is we have pulled away from the car behind. So can we do anything at all to pull in this chap and see if we can get ahead? Now this corner was really tricky, and I really don't think I got it right. I struggled to get into the apex and to come out wide. I was finding myself having to back off a little bit as I exited the corner, which is not what you want to be doing. You want to be accelerating out of that corner. So I do think if I had a proper run and a bit more practice, maybe I could have gotten a bit quicker, and that would have really helped. But we're just staying roughly within a couple, well, maybe a 1.5 seconds or so of the car in front. And we go up the hill. The main thing was when I first started lapping here, I could barely keep the car on the track. It's really dodgy, because when you have these off-camber corners, especially like turn 1, the car just wants to slide straight away, and if you're not careful, the car will just spin right round and you'll be in real trouble. But that one was a slightly better exit. So here we come to turn 1, and you can see what's happening there. You're going to kind of just try and grab a little bit of curb, and then accelerate as much as you can and as early as you can on up the hill to try and get a good exit and see if you can catch up a bit with the car in front. And then this is a long left-hand bend. You've got to kind of hug the inside so the car doesn't run wide, because you can see there I've run a bit deep. And then so it does affect your braking points to come into the next corner. Run a little bit wide. I just managed to stay within the curbs and get a reasonable run. This was a tricky corner. It's a long left-hander and the car just wanted to understeer. It seemed like you had to accelerate out very, very late, but you would lose a lot of speed. But the exit there was crucial. This was quite a good corner. Again, it draws you in, so you want to, it's easy to brake too late and then struggle to get through. But as long as you brake within enough time, you could actually get the car into the apex and get a nice exit. This corner, again, you would have wait and wait and wait, try and hit the apex and then accelerate out, because the car will want to nose out and understeer. And then into this crucial long banked right-hander, which does, because it's banked on your side, it is quite good, but I struggled a wee bit to get out of there. That was maybe not quite such a bad exit. In fact, I'd done the quickest sector there of anyone in the race, which is not too bad. But the key thing was this very long right-hander, the kind of very sharp hairpin. It was so tempting to accelerate out, and if you did that, you would just spin round. But so far, this lap is looking reasonable. I've done a 1:53.3 and a 1:58. That was the first lap that we completed. And then into the dodgy chicane, which is so easy to go wide and you're in real trouble. I went a little bit deep there, but I managed to just rescue it. So I didn't, to be fair, look at any of the track guides as to how they do how they get the perfect lap. I know that Tidgney was doing it in like the low 51s, maybe even into the 50s, to be fair. But then that's why he is on GT Academy and has done so well with all these different races and World Championships. And he'll be coming on the show on the 26th of November, so look out for that one. It should be around about 9 o'clock, which will be great fun. Great to have him back on the show for the first full interview that wasn't just a podcast. This time we'll actually have a picture of him, because the last time I only saw his feet. That was the only camera angle he gave me. So, back to the race. We're still in third place. We've certainly not lost anything to the car behind. We've got a good few seconds, and we're about a second and a half or so behind second place man. Now we come into this corner here. Oh, there we go. There's a wee bit of lag there. I don't know what happened, but we're back through, so it seems to be alright. Coming into the final lap, into the long left-hand bend, and then through this kind of very tricky right-hander. Alsace is a race of very tricky corners. Every corner is a challenge. It's not anything that you can just slightly relax about. You've got to be concentrating fully on the whole race and every corner that you come to. And then as we come into the tricky hairpin, it's waiting and waiting and waiting and then accelerating out. It was really difficult as well to know the best gears for that, because the car would bog down in third gear, so ideally you had to kind of be in second to get any kind of reasonable acceleration, but it did mean it was easy to spin off, so you had to be as smooth as you could. So coming into the chicane for the last time, hitting the right apex, hitting the left apex, and then powering on out, down the start-finish straight, and there we go. We managed to get third, so at least we went up one place, and there was no major argy-bargy in all of that. So that's this week's race from Alsace in the Group 3 Beetle. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back racing tonight, because by the time you get this, it will probably be Monday afternoon for Fat Man in the Cheap Sim at 9 PM, and we'll see what the daily races have to offer us. So take care and drive fast and try not to crash. Bye just now.